I'm a fan of Voigtlander since I got my Nokton Classic for Sony. There's just something special about manual lenses. The experience, the character, and the slower pace of photography that changes everything. I just got my second full-time Voigtlander, but this time it's the one for the Fuji X system. The Voigtlander 35 1.2. I've been torn apart between the 23 and 35, but ultimately I've chosen the 35 because I wanted a 50mm equivalent for my X-T30 Mark II and the lens that I could use for casual, but more artistic portraits. I gotta say, this is the most beautiful Fujifilm combo I have ever used. This lens looks fantastic on the X-T30. The clicked aperture and buttery smooth focusing ring are a joy to use. I've added a focus tab, which I think makes the experience even better. With some practice, it's relatively easy to learn focusing with this lens using focus peaking, even at 1.4 in the street environment. It's not too heavy and pretty well balanced on the X-T30. What I like most is that this lens is a 2-in-1 lens. At 1.2 and 1.4 you get this vintage, a little dreamy look with crazy bokeh. And when stopped to like 2.8 or f4, it becomes sharp and contrasty. What I don't like is that this lens doesn't have the infinity lock, so the far focus stops at beyond infinity. You have to get used to that, so you don't miss the focus, especially for landscapes. The focus tab really helps with that, because when you work out that muscle memory, it's easier to learn to stop just before the end of the focus range. Also, this lens is not weather sealed, and after about a month of use, I've noticed some dust specks inside the lens. They do not impact the images, but you gotta be aware that it's probably not the best lens for more demanding scenarios. It's got the electronic contacts, so you get the full EXIF, lens correction profile, and focusing scale inside the camera. I really like this lens and will definitely keep it, but I have to admit, I spoiled myself with this lens for my birthday, so I didn't count too much on that day. And the price? Yeah, it is kinda crazy. I know it's a Voigtlander, but it's hard to justify that you have to pay this much for an APS-C lens, manual and let's say flawed lens. There are cheaper Chinese alternatives out there, but if you want a jewelry class lens and that distinct look that Voigtlander offers, which is my opinion the one that just cannot be copied, the way of Voigtlander is the way you should go.